Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you've ever thought about getting an Australian Shepherd, this video is going to be for you. I have two 5-year-old Aussies. I also grew up with an Aussie mix and I'm currently fostering an Aussie mix. And I personally think that they are the most incredible dogs. However, they're definitely not the dog for everyone. I would not recommend them to everyone. So today I'm going to break down all the pros and cons so you can decide if they are truly the right fit for you or your family. Also, disclaimer, obviously all Aussies have different personalities. My boy and girl are extremely different and extremely similar in a lot of ways. So there is some variability in this. Like all dogs, they are extremely loyal, but they just kind of take this to the next step. You will truly never be alone. I haven't gone to the bathroom alone in 5 years unless I was on vacation without them, truly. But for the most part, they will not leave you alone. If I go to sit down, they will be sitting on my lap or right next to me. They sleep at our heads. They want attention all the time. They'll just be with you 24/7. That's something that was a pro for me, but that might be a con for you. Number 2, they are extremely high energy. Some people say they have lazy Aussies. For example, I have a lazy Aussie and I have a very high energy Aussie. However, just because he likes to chill more and snuggle more does not mean that he does not need the same amount of physical and mental stimulation as she does. She's just more go, go, go and could be doing things 24/7. They're not going to be the kind of dogs you can take for a 15-minute walk around your neighborhood and then be done for the day. And that's just physical exercise. There's also the mental exercise that needs to be done, which leads me to my third pro. They are extremely smart and eager to please you. I swear my dogs could learn like any trick imaginable in a single day. It's fully about the work that you as the owner puts into it. They love training. You will never see them as happy as they are either on an off-leash hike or in a training session. Like seriously, they love it. They crave it. They need it. There's also so many games and puzzles and toys out there that you can purchase now for your dogs. We do buy a lot of them and there's some that are better than others or different levels and whatnot. But honestly, there's also a lot of things that you can do at home for enrichment that are free. I share a lot of those on my Instagram and TikTok, but you can do things like rolling up treats in a towel, playing hide and seek around your house, different things like that, but you're gonna be doing something along those lines every single day. Like I said, they are also very eager to please you. Once again, different personalities, but my boy is extremely intuitive. His paw on me when I just did that. Goodbye. That was so cute, Finley. He's my psychiatric service dog, so I trained him to be intuitive to me, but I think that's also just in his personality. Sadie's a little more aloof. Like if I'm crying, she won't necessarily be comforting me or things like that. But she does want to please me and she very much does not want to do anything wrong. He's a little naughty boy and he's at home and will do things like counter surfing and whatnot. Where my girl is so eager to please us that she does not want to be in trouble whatsoever. She has the classic Aussie smile, if you've seen it. They do this when they're being very submissive, if they've done something wrong. She also does it like if we're leaving for a trip and she doesn't want us to go, sort of thing. It's very, very cute. Pro number 4, they are very natural workers. They are working dogs. They were born to herd sheep. Obviously, most of us getting them these days are not farmers likely. However, you can still do a lot of activities that are meant for their breed. There are places now where you can go take your dog to herd sheep. I would love to try that out for sure. That would be so fun. I don't know how my dogs would do with it, but it's so cute. There's also so many other dog sports. We did toss and fetch, which is a frisbee league, and they had so much fun with that. There's also a lot of herding toys, giant balls and whatnot that they can chase around and push with their nose. Also, I've noticed Aussies just playing together when we meet up with their Aussie friends, or they see Aussies at the park or something. It's like they recognize each other and they're like, oh my god, that's my like cousin or something. There will be all the herding happening in those situations. So if you get an Aussie, I would definitely recommend getting Aussie friends for your Aussie to play with because it's so cute watching all of them. You can also look up Australian Shepherd like meetups in your city. Ours does this once a month meetup at a dog park, and it's not like a normal dog park. It's like this huge, extravagant acres and acres and acres dog park, and it's so fun to watch them all together just playing. There's also so many other jobs that they can have. Like I said, Finley's my psychiatric service dog, so he does tasks for my anxiety. Like he knows how to get my medicine, he does deep pressure therapy, he alerts when I'm having a panic attack and stops any physical symptoms I may have. I've also taught him things like carrying socks from the laundry. He loves carrying socks from the laundry. Sadie loves balloons. Like she could play with a balloon, just knocking it up and down for hours. They love it and they want to be involved in everything. So you can teach them to do your laundry with you. You can start agility with them. Any of the other dog sports, there's so many dog sports out there that you could try with them and see what they like. But at the end of the day, if you have an Aussie, you will be involved in activities in some way. It's going to become a part of your weekly routine. So just be prepared for that. So number 5, they are extremely friendly and loving. Every Aussie I've ever met is a kisser. Bodhi, our foster dog, he's laying down right here. He took a while to like warm up to trust us to kiss us. And now that he does, he kisses so much. Sadie gives like the little kisses that are adorable. Finley will straight up suffocate you if you were to let him just continue kissing you. So that's definitely a thing to be prepared for. This also does have to do with socializing them well, and I don't just mean taking them to the dog park and throwing them in. I would not recommend that whatsoever. But it does mean taking them around people and letting them interact with them and training them while doing so they're acting in a friendly and appropriate manner. Sadie we got during COVID, and I know it's a huge problem with a lot of COVID dogs, and I especially hear it a lot in the Aussie community, which is actually gonna bring me to my first con. A lot of Aussies that I know are reactive. I think a huge part of this comes from COVID dogs and getting dogs in COVID. We got Sadie in April of 2020, so we were like locked in the house. She knew Finley and a few other dogs. She just wasn't in actual training classes and whatnot as much. Finley's also just like a little antisocial with people unless he really knows them. Like obviously like our family and close friends he's obsessed with, but just a stranger on the street, he's not even really gonna give them the time of day too much, honestly. That I think has to do with him being my service dog, and when he's working he's not allowed to be interacting with anyone. So I think when he's not working, it's kind of also the way he acts. Sadie's extremely friendly with people in public and will go for all the kisses and acts as though she's their dog now. So this is a personality thing depending on the dog, but it also really depends on the work that you put in. The socialization training, getting them involved in new situations, and not putting them in situations like the dog park and whatnot, where they may be in a negative situation that will then make their reactivity worse. The number 2 con, because they're so obsessed with you, they also will likely have separation anxiety. This is something I more hear from other Aussie owners. Mine don't really have separation anxiety. I don't know if that's because they have each other. Mine have separation anxiety from each other. Like if my husband has one dog and I have one dog, they do not like being separated. They want the whole pack together. They don't have separation anxiety when just my husband and I leave the house or just I leave the house. What else do we do that helps your separation anxiety? And also finding trusted sitters for them when you're away really helps that. When we take our dogs to boarding, they literally leap out of the car and run in without a second thought of saying bye to us. So that makes me feel a lot more confident that they're happy there, obviously, and not having that separation anxiety. I'm the one having the separation anxiety. Con number 3, where the smartness comes, the stubbornness comes. We actually met 2 ladies out the other night. I was out getting pizza with them, and these 2 ladies were like, I could never have a dog that's smarter than me. And I was like, yeah. No, I feel that. They are extremely smart and they will be smarter than you in a lot of ways. I swear Finley speaks English. Like he fully understands me. I would swear he knows at least 500 words. I'm pulling that number out of my ass, but like he literally understands me. We did those speaking buttons with them and he did that. He figures out every puzzle, and those puzzle toys I talked about, they can be great, but if your dog is too smart like mine is, they can just figure out ways to break the puzzle, flipping over their slow feeder bowls. Or even we have this one toy where you press a button and then it makes treats come out of a different machine. So you can put them in different rooms and then your dog can get exercise running back and forth to each other. No. My dog decided to pick up the machine and carry it over next to the button so that way he didn't have to be running around. So that's what I mean by they're smart, and they're smarter than you. He also will steal food in 0.1 seconds if we look away, and you're smart about it too. That's the thing, is he'll fully trick us because he'll act like he's so uninterested, just waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. And then it strikes. This is where having structure and routine is very, very, very helpful with Aussies. You need to be in charge or they will take advantage of you. Place training, where they need to go to a place, i.e. their bed, a couch, something where they're staying in one spot, has helped us a ton. They have to basically be given a command at all times, or they're just doing their own thing and they're in their own world and they won't necessarily do what you want. So if you're getting an Australian Shepherd, you're definitely going to want to invest in training. And something I've learned in my 5 years of dog momming is that dog training is really so much more about training you as the human than it is about training the actual dogs, which is so funny, but it really is true. Another con would be their beautiful coats. I love so much. However, they be shedding. If you get an Australian Shepherd, you will be dealing with hair on all of your things 100% of the time. So think about what color you get, because we really can't own anything dark anymore because they'll be white fur just covering the entire thing. So there's really no point. You don't have to do a lot of grooming with Australian Shepherds, which is a plus. You don't want to shave them ever because they have double coats. Our foster dog unfortunately had to be shaved. I don't know the full situation. Either the groomer messed up or the groomer had to shave him due to matting, which leads me to say because of their long hair, it can get matted oftentimes in their long butts or behind their ears. Sadie often gets them behind their ears. So keeping up with a good brush routine is really important. And when they do get those mats, cutting them out quickly, and you want to start that early so they can really know the routine. But they don't need to be groomed that much. They actually have like a self-cleaning coat, which I don't fully understand, to be honest, but it is kind of crazy. Like we'll go to the beach and they'll get so dirty and then just suddenly a few hours later it's like they're like magically clean. If you were to take them to a groomer, what Australian Shepherds would get is called a sanitary trim, and that basically just means cleaning up the little butt area and their paws. Funny because it's basically like a flip side of every pro that there's a con, but because they have such high energy and a drive, if you don't fulfill their needs, they will find ways to do so, i.e. Finley misbehaving, jumping on the counters and whatnot. It's typically in times where his needs aren't being fully fulfilled, and right now that is because we have a foster dog. Another con can be the health issues. I hesitate to like even say this because if you're adopting a dog of any breed, you just don't know. They might have health issues, they might not. It's important, however, if you are going through a breeder, that you take the appropriate steps of finding one who has done all the health and genetic testing. Aussies often can have problems in their hips and their elbows. They also can have bad breeding issues. For example, if two mares breed together, that is called a double marrow, and a lot of them end up deaf and blind. So the results of these health issues that Aussies have typically come from bad breeding. I don't think that should stop you from adopting an Australian Shepherd or finding a great breeder who ensures that their dogs are completely health tested and that everything is excellent. At the end of the day, I would recommend Australian Shepherds to anyone who's ready to fully commit to them. I think a lot of the times because they're so high energy and so a lot, some people think you need to literally be on a farm, and that's not necessarily the case. You can be somebody who wants to go on that hike and then come home and snuggle on the couch, or who you take to the brewery, but first you're doing that long hike. They're not going to be the type of dog who's just going to want to snuggle you for days on end. I think on social media, we see a lot of sleepy dogs, sleepy Aussies. You don't realize that that's like the in-between time after they've been fulfilled. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful at all, feel free to like it and subscribe to our channel. I share more about our life with Aussies here and also on my Instagram and TikTok if you want to follow those. Love ya. Bye.